This is the design project I did for our third project about the Futurist Manifesto. And the quote that I used was, "We want to hymn the man at the wheel who hurls the lance of his spirit across the earth along the circle of its orbit." And I liked this quote because it really put in like an image in my head um, of the earth and its orbit. So I used more of like a space scene, very simplified with geometric circles, and that way I could kind of tie in wheels, which are also a big part of the futurist interest in movement and man-made speed. So some of the things I did with this, I made it all in Illustrator because I felt like that really reflected a more modern version of the futurist ideas of enjoying technology and revolution, but I also wanted it to reflect the textures that were in some of the older works of futurist work. So I took it into Photoshop after that and added a little bit of texture to the graphic that I made in Illustrator. So what I was looking at for inspiration for texture were works like this one here, where you can see the kind of the fuzziness around the edges, and also I looked at this one here, and a lot of these works weren't really made to be read. It's really hard to read this and understand it. And mine, I didn't push it quite that far because I did want it to still be able to be read, but I did play a lot with size and kind of bouncing the words around so they're not totally like in line. And one more thing that I tried to incorporate in this was the idea of motion and a 2D reference all at once. So I really like this picture, and I wanted to try and involve this uh, into my poster, so it does have a little bit of jitter around these words to show the layering that was happening in this work here. And one more thing that I involved, which was a cubist idea, was the overlapping that's happening in some of the letters here, where you can still read them and they still make sense, but it shows each layer is kind of involved with each other, which was a really big thing with the cubist collages that were made. So overall, I really liked this project, and this was my inspiration for it.